Hello and welcome to Segments Has Spoken, the Survivor Fancast. Tonight, Amber and I are going to be discussing Season 36, Episode 12 and 13 of Survivor Ghost Island. We were gone. I was gone last week, and so there was no episode, though a ton happened. It was very exciting.
Yes, we're sorry we didn't let all you faithful listeners know we weren't going to be here. We just didn't put that together, so
they didn't know what to think.
They were looking all over for us. How do we digest this episode of Survivor without Mark and Amber?
So much is happening, and I can't. They don't have the brain power to have their own opinions.
Well,
they
let's
need
not
us.
cut them down.
Oh,
they just want to hear what
see.
we think about it too. I'm sure.
Correct. So there's so much I want to talk about on tonight's episode.
I know.
We just finished watching it, but I will force myself to roll it back to episode 12.
It was a great one. It was Family Visits.
I love the family visits.
It was called A Giant Game of Bumper Cars.
How is a giant game of bumper cars different than a more standard game of bumper cars?
I mean, there's so many cars that you could bump.
Oh, it's not the size of the cars.
Oh, you were thinking giant bumper cars. That sounds pretty awesome, actually.
That'd be a good immunity challenge.
Yeah.
So, Amber, I've watched that episode a couple times, but what do you want to talk about? Episode 12.
Well, I'll tell you what. We were having some severe weather. Well, according to our weatherman, it was honestly just some heavy rain. Mm-hmm. So he interrupted the beginning of the episode. So the very first thing I saw was the start of the reward challenge. Was there anything that happened before that was noteworthy?
No, it was kind of, if I recollect correctly, it was kind of your standard Donathan going, we should make a move, and Laurel going, I don't think it's time yet. Or she's going, man, maybe it is time. Maybe it's not time. I don't know. And so that kind of thing. And you're just, the whole time, you're just like, make a move. It's too late. And so she said in episode 12, and then in the recap for tonight, she said, what did she say? Basically, we control the direction of the rest of the game. She knows that they are pivotal. They are pivotal.
Yeah, they're right in the middle.
Happen. And she also said, I can get to the end, but not win with Dom and Wendell. And it's less likely that I'll get to the end, but if I do, I could win.
Yeah, she doesn't trust the girls.
If I could go with the girls.
But she knows she could beat them.
To me, from an outside perspective, and I can't imagine the psychological things that are going on, and you're trying to make decisions, but it seems like go with the chance where you win the game. Yeah.
I mean, that does make sense, and she's going to watch it back, and she's going to think that too. You know, you're in the middle of it, and maybe she's got a chance. She said something tonight about splitting the votes, but so we get to that reward challenge. It's day 31. The reward they're playing for is ribs, chicken, burgers, pastries, and ice cream. And Jeff says, this is not just sharing who you are playing against, or you're not going to share the food with who you're playing against, but who you are playing for. I don't know how he said it. Anyway, that was his reveal.
And everybody gets so emotional.
Because it's family time.
And it's every season that you watch, you get to the loved one part, and it's just fun.
This is the first time, this is maybe my 5th season I've watched all the way through, because I'm kind of like, okay, it's been a month. That's a long time to go without your loved ones, but the amount of emotion is just crazy. But Laurel says off camera, there's nobody here that I can trust 100%.
Yeah.
Even though you have your alliances, these are strangers. You get to know them pretty good. You hang out with them 24/7. You can't trust them 100%. So then you see your brother or you see your dad and you think, I can trust this person. I can relax. They love me. They're here for me. They're here for me instead of everybody else who's here for themselves. So that helped me understand the intensity of their emotion.
I think the psychological toil of playing the game of Survivor is just as significant as the physical toll that takes on your body that we saw in tonight's episode.
So I was glad everybody got to hug their loved ones as they came out. We watched one season where they didn't even get to touch each other.
Yeah. You could tell that the cast is so much younger on this episode because it was like, here's your brother, here's your sister,
here's your parents. Like, very few spouses.
And so Dominic had his spouse, and that was really fun. I loved it when she comes up to him and she hugs him. She's like, I love you and hate you so much.
Yeah. She's obviously, it was just like, oh, yep, of course. That's Dominic's wife.
Yeah. It was so good. And then Angela had her daughter. She was also
that was a little different,
and that was very sweet.
They made it into something weird, like how she sacrificed for her country and had to leave her family behind. It felt like they were trying to make her feel guilty. I'm not sure what that was, but
very emotional.
You served your country and sacrificed your family. Wendell's dad said he was proud of him. Sister Sydney was there. Donathan's Aunt Patty.
Yeah, that was great.
She walked out and Donathan goes, she's so beautiful. She looks so beautiful. And then he hugged her and he said, do you know how my mom and grandma are? You know, he just cares so much. I think he spends all his time taking care of them when he's at home. So Sebastian's sister, Grace, he said she's like his twin and his best friend. And he said, she's my sweetheart.
It seems a little weird. That was
Kellen's brother Clay and Laurel's brother Frank.
Yeah, and so that always ratchets up the tension, and so they were playing, and of course Donathan and Angela are terrible at challenges.
Man, I just saw Angela with her army training. She was supposed to run up a ramp, like a balance beam ramp, and she just couldn't do it. Yeah. Like she was way back there when everybody else was digging
up. Oh, I couldn't believe it.
I think she gets herself too geared up or something.
I have no idea what she's doing. But Wendell is the one who it was Seabass.
Seabass wins.
Seabass dominates that, wins, and somebody else kind of comes in behind him, but he ends up. I think Dominic came in kind of like second place.
Yeah, I believe so. So they had to do just a little obstacle course type thing.
Yeah.
He gets to pick then. Sebastian gets to pick who's going to come with him.
This is what was crazy. His choices seemed, I don't know, but to choose all the guys and not any of the girls just seemed like it just felt bad.
It was kind of weird. So
like,
first he said doing this? He just made everything seem kind of obvious. Well, obviously first I got to choose my biggest family man, Big Dominic, Big Dom.
Absolutely, 100%.
He's the one there with his spouse. He should get to see her. And then he said he promised my man Wendell. So Wendell and his dad get to come. And then he said, Donathan, come on over. You deserve it, buddy.
Yeah. So this was before Donathan's game imploded. And so that seemed like an odd choice to me. And then all the 4 girls are over there just fuming. And I know we don't want to spend too much time on that, but then Jeff says, one more thing. You need to pick somebody to go to Ghost Island. You can do it, or you can offer it to these 3 guys that you've just chosen. And if none of them want it, you can offer it to one of the girls.
Because there is an advantage. She said straight up, there will be an advantage at Ghost Island. It wasn't like a maybe or maybe not. So Sebastian didn't want it, which we were listening to a podcast, and they're like, you don't go for an advantage in this game when you've got 9 days left so you can have lunch with your sister?
Yeah, that seemed odd.
Both my brothers listen to this, and I just want to tell you, go for the advantage. If we're ever in that case, I'll be all right.
And I think the other thing that you need at this point is you need real food.
That's true.
If you could eat something to get you a little something,
so he did get food.
Give you an edge, above the people who are starving to death.
Yeah. So when he turned it down, then it goes over to Dominic and Donathan and Wendell, and Wendell takes it.
Yeah, and it makes sense. And he said they didn't show it, but on Ghost Island, Wendell's like, my dad said, just go for it. So he must have given him. Maybe his dad whispered, like, you just got to do it or whatever.
I'll see you in 8 days, man.
It's like one more week. And
the food thing, that's big, though. I do think the food helps him in the challenges.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he heads over to Ghost Island. Kellen is upset. Those boys are so full of themselves. They didn't, what did I put here? They didn't worry about sending all us girls back to camp, so we've got some work to do. And she wants to kind of unite all of them against, all the girls against the guys.
Yeah. Yeah, she tries. And what? Oh, I was just gonna say something. Well, I can't remember.
Well, next up was Ghost Island. Maybe you're gonna mention
Ghost Island. It's such a
the worst possible advantage. Oh my goodness!
I gave up for this, and so it was a callback challenge.
Yeah, Michael from Survivor Philippines also had this advantage.
And you hold 2 sticks or some sticks, and there's a ball that you're trying to balance on top. And the advantage is if you drop the ball, you can start over again.
One more time. That's it. One time. And it's really, really hard. And if you drop it once, you're probably going to drop it again immediately. I got away from the mic.
Amber.
There's stink bugs everywhere. I've just kind of decided to try to live in harmony with them, but it still freaks me out.
They're no fun. They're no fun at all.
All right. So he did get the advantage, but it's terrible.
And it doesn't help him at all, just like it didn't help whoever on Michael on the previous season.
Same thing, immediately dropped it the second time.
Who won that challenge? Oh, I know.
We're not there quite yet. We have a little bit with the reward. I just took a couple of notes. Aunt Patty, you just made a vow.
Yep. So
Dominic and Donathan.
And so Donathan was like, "I'm taking these guys all the way to the end." And Aunt Patty's like, "You just made a vow." I'm a country girl.
Okay. So he was saying he's taking Seabass and Donathan, though Laurel wasn't there.
Right. And so here it is. Donathan gets this. He's chosen for this challenge. He's in this. He's like, and Dominic is like, I am taking you to the end.
He did.
And the whole time it's Donathan who's like, I'm not sure. I can't.
I'm not. Yeah.
And he's the one who's planning and going to do something else. And then he has. I just don't. This episode, tonight's episode was ridiculous. We'll get there.
So Donathan definitely thinks he wasted his idol when he played it the week before. Mm-hmm. I still think it might have been. It might have been smart. He just wished, every time you play an idol, you wish there would have been enough votes to evict you. That'd be the perfect time to play it. But I think he needed to play it. They showed a little bit at the girls at camp right before immunity. They were super whiny. I put whiny girls. They literally said they get everything good, and I could just get it. They're hungry. They're tired. They wish so bad they were with their family and eating that chicken. I totally get it. So they say they need to break up Dominic and Wendell, and Laurel is still swaying.
I can't. Laurel, I would love to see Laurel win this. She's been my choice, I think, since the beginning.
Yeah.
But I'm very disappointed in her choices. I just don't. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like you have to make these moves. These are not your friends. You have to try to win the game.
Yep. I liked it when... I thought it was Kellen. Somebody said that when the family... Oh, it comes up here later. When the family comes to a visit, that it resets your thinking. It helps you realize, these are just people I've only known for 30 days on this island. I've got this family at home that's rooting for me. I can make some choices that are above and beyond my relationships that I have on the day-to-day here.
Yep, exactly. And, but it doesn't seem to work for Laurel.
Yep. So then we've got our immunity challenge, the sticks with the ball on top.
Sticks for the ball on top, and you can either do it or you can't do it. Yeah. And Wendell can't do it.
No.
Nor can most anybody else.
Yeah, Kellen was out almost immediately. Angela, when they had to extend it, she didn't lift up her bar in time, so she was out. Wendell dropped, and then everybody got to rest while he reset. That was kind of nice. Mm-hmm. And then he immediately dropped again, next one. Then Sebastian was out, Laurel was out, Chelsea was out. It came down to Dominic versus Donathan.
Yeah.
And Dominic won.
Yeah,
it was his second in a row. But that's the closest Donathan's come to winning anything.
Yeah, I just... what is with that kid?
We're talking about tonight's episode there, but...
He should at least try to win a challenge before... He did try, I guess, but it's like, come on, Donathan. Finish it up.
Aww.
So, and so Dominic won, and so the guys in power continue to stay strong, and they head into the tribal council. Dominic has to feel good, but it seems like the producers, if I'm remembering correctly, kind of made it seem like, oh man, are they going to be able to kind of pull the wool over Wendell's eyes, and what's going to happen? Or are they going to go with Chelsea? That's who Dom and Wendell wanted to get out. And the tribal council was crazy.
Yes, Mark was out of the country, and I was texting him being like, this tribal, oh my gosh. I just couldn't, like Donathan, my mouth was just open. What are you doing? What are you doing? Because the plan, we thought, was that he was going to side with the girls, but they really wanted to keep everything completely under the table so that they could just blindside Wendell and get him out and have him know ahead of time because they don't want him to use his idol. So Donathan starts talking, and you think he's messing everything up. He's like, things shaked up. There's an opening tonight.
Yeah, there's
a crack. Yeah,
and he's like, there's going to be a blind side. And like all this crazy, he's dropping these truth bombs, and he's doing that like smirky little,
oh my gosh, it's so weird.
I'm really doing something here. And I'm like, this is the beginning of the end for you, Jonathan.
Yep. And it looks like everybody's paranoid. I don't know how many people were in on it. We don't find out really, but everybody's got shifty eyes. Everybody's looking around like, who is he talking about? What is he doing?
I cannot imagine a situation. How is Wendell not orchestrating that situation?
Yeah.
Because he didn't play his idol.
I know.
It was the craziest thing.
Unbelievable.
He even said, if anybody even looks at me funny, I'm going to be playing my idol tonight. Like, it was
he had it there.
You have no idea what's going on here right now. Why would you not play your idol?
There had to be at least a tickling in your mind of, what if he is talking about me? What if he's flip-flopping again? Even if you just had a conversation right before Tribal, which we never saw, you'd still have to wonder. I cannot believe he's still holding on to it. How much longer can he play it? Can he play it?
One more.
Okay.
I think you can't play it after 5.
So, I mean, there's got to be one more and then the end, right? Yeah. I don't know. We're almost at the end.
We're almost at the end. So
crazy.
So from this episode, I think he has 2 more chances to play it. So,
yep.
And yeah, I just can't believe it. And so ends up being poor Chelsea.
Yeah.
How did Chelsea get no airtime on this entire episode? She gets to 31 days or whatever and gets no confessionals, no airtime. We don't know anything about her. It just seems bizarre.
It is kind of crazy. So we listened to a different podcast where they do exit interviews, and Chelsea couldn't be there.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Like, is she even real? So they had somebody else read her typed responses, but they added their own ad-lib stuff in there. Like, I guess every time they filmed me, they would just say, oops, there was no film in the camera. But it's weird how absent she was. The most we heard her talk was at the end when she was explaining right after, the very end of the episode when they kind of talk for a minute. That's the most I've ever heard her voice.
In her exit interview, she made it seem like she had gameplay and she had confessionals and things happened, and they just never made the cut.
Yeah, shout out to my brother Aaron. He did send me some clips of her confessionals. I just don't think they made it into the episodes, or maybe there's such little parts that they don't stick out.
Yeah.
There was like 10 of them, and I would think I would remember that, unless maybe everybody else has like 50, and it just seems way more common. I don't know. So thank you, Aaron. At least I know she was out there, but that was kind of weird.
Yeah. And so, long story short, our friend Chelsea is I don't even know what number.
5-3. Oh, she was the 6th member.
Member.
6th. Tonight was 7th. Yep.
Yeah, crazy.
They said, just Jeff said, there was a crack. There was a crack in Navidi.
Oh.
Finally, we got that Navidi thing.
That's open. That's been the worst part of the whole season.
Yep.
Oh, man. So I just didn't know what Donathan was doing, and I don't know about what Wendell was doing, but we don't get any answers. Who knows? Who knows what they were thinking? But there we go.
Yeah, so we're just going to blast right into the next episode.
Blast right in. And so we start here with Laurel again, saying we were in control, not just tonight, not just tonight, but how the whole game unfolds. And I just can't. And Donathan, for weeks, has been trying to get her to make a move, but she has bought into the Dom Wendell happy family.
And she's very smart. She's thinking about every contingency, but
I'm sure she is.
It's super frustrating because she does say, this might be a good time to make a move.
Yes.
And like last week is when you should have made a move.
Absolutely.
Your majority is slipping. Your chance of having a majority is slipping away.
And so then Callan is obviously feeling like she's on the bottom. I mean, probably not just feeling, she is on the bottom.
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
she fears she's being out next, and she does that thing where she says, I just got to trust my gut. Okay.
Whatever that means.
Whatever that means.
Donathan, at the beginning of this game, I thought he was playing some of his best game. He was saying, like, Laura, we can't keep playing it safe, or we're going to be in a big pickle in the end, or a bigger pickle. But he was smart. I mean, he was saying, we can't keep playing it safe. we're not going to come out on top if that's what happens. And I thought that part made sense. That was level-headed.
And he's been saying that for 3 weeks.
I know. But he's continued to.
Yeah.
And the thing is, should he have turned on Laurel?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, at this point, hindsight is 20/20. In hindsight, he should have 2 weeks ago turned on her, because now he's gotten himself into a position where he is the low man on the totem pole of this kind of this alliance that is now not 4 people, is now 5 people, because they've brought Seabass in.
Yeah, that's true.
And so he's like, wait a minute, where do I even fit in this whole scenario? And so I can understand why he psychologically is starting to question
starting to
unravel some things. But when he said, he's like, Laura, we need to make a move. He's been saying that, and tonight he finally was like, I might just have to go out on my own. And I'm like, yeah, you should have done that when she...
Is that what we saw then, was him going out on his own? Maybe Laurel's been keeping him in check all this time.
The worst going out on your own of all time. So, yeah, that was unfortunate.
All right, well, we get another reward challenge.
I saw a preview of this one. I was very,
you had already
excited.
Told me what was coming.
There's these spools.
Mm-hmm. Big spools, yeah.
Oh, yeah, so there's 3 teams of 2, and you put these spools on. You had one, and then you had to run down the stairs, and it goes zigzags around, and you get the spool and carry it back up, and there's 2. And I don't know how to explain it, but you have to race up and down stairs and move spools and keep adding spools.
Yeah,
and it gets harder
there's eventually 5, so there's not much gap between. By the time you get down the stairs, you got to hurry up and grab one. Yeah, I thought that was cool. It was sad because there's 7 of them and only 6 could play.
Yes.
So they picked 3 captains, and then those captains each picked a teammate, and whoever was left at the end, like the worst schoolyard pick.
Oh, it'd be so bad.
But they left Angela out. That was smart. She choked. She cannot do competition.
She's the worst. Yeah, sorry. If you're listening, Angela, we love you. We think you're doing great. But Kellen chose Seabass. Great choice.
Yeah, that was smart.
Great choice. Wendell, of course, chooses Dom. They're the power duo. And then Donathan, luckily, got chosen to be a captain, and he picks Laurel.
Because I wonder if Laurel would have been, would she pick Donathan or would she pick Angela?
It only makes sense to pick Angela because she's just, everything about her says
she's more physically
competent.
fit. Yes.
Yeah, and so.
Yeah, and she might have been able to handle going up and down stairs. I don't know.
You think so? I don't know. So what it was, I assumed that the Donathan Laurel team would be out first because of Donathan, but ends up that Kellen and Seabass, I think it was even Seabass that missed the first spool, hits the ground, and they are out. But man, they just looked.
It was after you got to 5, man. They were booking it.
Yeah, in watching them, here it's I think it was day 33 at this point, and you're seeing them run up. That's probably maybe 12 stairs, maybe 12, 15 stairs, maybe not that many, 10, 12 stairs, and they're just like
slow,
just kind of like getting up there, and you can tell like this is not.
Later in the immunity challenge too, that was some of the slowest I've seen survivors move. I did put on there that I thought it'd be fun to have a game like that on vacation.
I do too.
I think that so fun. I wouldn't want to have 5 spools going at once. But it just was so satisfying to watch them go down the ramps and switch directions.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. Kind of like, I don't know what it's not like anything, like a Rube Goldberg machine that's kind of going back and forth. Anyway, such a great one. I think that was brand new.
Hopefully they'll bring it back.
Dominic walking in, and he's like, what the hell is this? Because he'd never seen it before. So
they usually recognize some of the...
Yeah, some of them were repeats.
Well, that was cool.
And then, Amber, somebody goes to Ghost Island.
Yes. Sebastian. Sebastian goes to Ghost Island, and he has a little monologue about how Dominic and Wendell think he's their remora. And he explains what a remora is. We love Sebastian's funny things. So the remora is a suckerfish. He usually hangs out underneath or attached to the great white shark. And so he thinks that these boys see themselves as the sharks, and he's just their suckerfish hanging along, which that's a pretty apt analogy.
Absolutely.
But then he said maybe this trip to Ghost Island could be when the remora becomes the shark.
That's so great. And this is what, the third, maybe the 4th time in the episode, they're like, it's time to shake things up. It's time to go after Dom and Wendell. Like, Sebastian says it. Kellen says it. Donathan says it.
Even Laurel says it.
Yeah. And it's like, you're just
really
like,
from Angela.
This could be something. Something could be happening.
Yeah. So, and then Sebastian also says, he reads the sign that says, smash the urn, but he says urn.
I did like that. Smash that urn. And he gets a 3 in 4 chance to win this advantage.
It'd be so sad if he didn't get it. I was thinking that Survivor probably put something in every box.
You are, you may.
Conspiracy theory.
A conspiracy theorist. But he wins, and he gets the steal a vote that Michaela had in season 34, that Kellen got earlier in this season, but it changed. It's not a steal a vote. Now it's an extra vote.
Right, a secret extra vote. So Kellen played it earlier in the season. You have to cross out. It said Michaela on it already. She crossed out Michaela, and she wrote Laurel, but it didn't work. That's the week that Michael went home.
Yep, and so now Sebastian's got an extra vote, and he's all excited. He's like, this could be the thing that turns the tides, I guess.
So he definitely didn't use it tonight. Would that have helped? I didn't think about that. I forgot that he had it.
I don't know. I think they were so solid on getting Kellen or Donathan out.
His name was not mentioned at all, so he really needs to use it to save himself.
And I think it does get more powerful the later in the...
I mean, there's hardly any time left.
But there's no...
immunity?
There's no... He can use it up to the end.
Oh.
Like the immunity idols, like you can only do it when there's 5 or more people.
Okay.
Like there's no stipulation on this, so theoretically,
it is more
gets
powerful.
More and more powerful.
Yeah.
And he knew, I'm definitely not going home tonight because of all this chaos.
Good point.
And so I'll just hold on to it, let them get out, and
good point.
So that's what I think he did. And so that was pretty good. But then at this point in the episode is where Donathan just cracks.
Yeah.
And he says, my truth bombs are working for me. And I just wrote down, Donathan dumb. Amber, remind me what to say about this.
So I don't know about truth bomb. So he's laying in the shade with Wendell, and he just starts a conversation where he's like, Wendell says, we're cool. We're 100%. We're good. And Donathan's like, yeah, but I know, what do you say? I know I'm not going to go to Final 3 with you. And then he's like, I know that I'll vote for Dominic over you. If it's you and Dominic, I'm going to vote for Dominic. I'm not going to vote for you. And he's just like, thanks? Like, why would you say that?
Yeah, and Wendell's like, well, I guess that's a good reason for Dominic to get you on the jury then.
Why would you be telling Wendell that Dominic should put you on the jury? I thought he was trying to stir Wendell up to say, well, I better get Dominic out because people like him better than me.
That's exactly what he was trying to do, but what he was actually doing was just imploding his game. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
I think your theory is correct. It was a fear. It's like a fear of rejection, like in a dating situation. This is Mark, but I mean, I think it's that you are so afraid that somebody's going to reject you that you act out and you're horrible to force them to reject you so that you don't have to wonder. It's just happening. So I think he knows he's not going to make it to the end, and he is just going to force them to vote him out sooner. So he just knows, like, he can't handle not knowing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but
it makes more sense than him, because it doesn't feel like a strategy.
And if it is a strategy, it's the worst strategy ever. And I think somewhere in here, so Wendell's like, I don't want to play my real immunity idol. I'm going to create a fake one, but I need Dominic's the paperwork for his immunity idol so I can put it with my fake immunity idol.
Is that what was going on?
That's what was going on.
Oh, I missed it.
And so Dominic's like, okay, and so he gets something from his bag and he puts it in Wendell's bag, and Donathan's like, what was that? And they're just like, what? It was putting
the worst line.
He's just putting some from his bag into my bag. It's not a big deal. It's just, and you're like, what are you talking about? It's just a necklace and a cloth, and then I was holding on.
It's just something I was holding for him. It's like you just caught a first grader passing something between their desks. What? I don't know. It seemed very weird. Why did they do it when He was right there. Like, just wait till later. I don't know.
Thing. And then Donathan calls him on it, and then they kind of flip out, and then Donathan flips out, and it's just like...
And it seems like maybe they'll send Donathan home instead. We do have an immunity challenge as well before...
Oh, yeah. And so that was great. So you got these 2 bundles that you had untied to build a bridge, and then you had to put them in puzzle form kind of to build this bridge.
The bridge was trickier than you would think, especially if you're Angela.
Oh, my goodness. Then you have to do kind of a similar thing with a ladder, and then you climb up, you build the ladder, you climb up that, and then you do the slide puzzle from the first episode of the season.
Yeah, so it's a little more physical at the beginning, although it does kind of even out with the slide puzzle. Everybody could have a chance if they can get there. But they're moving slow. Wendell's in front, and he's just at a slow jog because it's hard.
And at the very back, Donathan and Angela are just there. And even Jeff is like, there's not that many pieces to this bridge. They're just...
in his great Jeff narrator voice.
They're trying the same pieces over and over again. Like, oh, man, they're just... It just seems like they're just... It did kind of seem like Angela just gave up at some point. And
I feel like it.
I can't do anything.
Yeah, I think she psyched herself out or something. So it was interesting. He said it was the same slide puzzle that they did from the day one competition. So Laurel had already had a chance at that and didn't get it then.
Yeah. So was Laurel in her mind continually doing this slide puzzle for the last 33 days in her brain, just waiting?
I just would have moved the third piece in the middle, down, and then over to the left two places. I'm bad at those. That would stress me out.
Yeah.
And Jeff said some people just can't get it.
Yeah. And so we get up there. Wendell gets up there first. I think it's Laurel.
Wendell's up there first.
Then Laurel? Doesn't seem like. I think it was
Wendell and Sebastian, yep.
And
then Dominic and Laurel.
And they're just doing, and they're all just kind of, and Dominic's like all over the place.
Yeah.
Making moves and stuff. Wendell's very kind of
methodical
as is Laurel. And we don't really see anything about Seabass. He's just kind of hacking away there.
Was he?
And Wendell makes a huge error. Amber and I are a little bit in disagreement on this. I think it's all on Wendell that he should have called out and said, I'm done.
He steps back, he puts his arms out, and it does look like he's studying the puzzle. Am I done?
Yeah.
But I think at that point in other competitions, Jeff would go, Wendell has it!
And Jeff would have run over.
Wendell was watching Laurel because she was, or not Wendell, Jeff was watching Laurel because she was really close to the end. So Jeff was standing over there. He wasn't watching Wendell.
Yeah.
And he's the deciding vote, even though the cameras caught it. And I even said, when Laurel has it. I was like, didn't Wendell have it? But Jeff says you didn't call it.
You didn't call it, and you got to get his attention. Yeah, and to me, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. Normally, would Jeff see it? Has Jeff seen it in the past? Yes. But if you finish and Jeff's not saying anything, you get his attention.
Yeah, I'd like to know if that has happened in Survivor history before. Has somebody had to... Or is it more normal that people call it that I'm not aware of? I think people sometimes go, got it, or they put their arms up in the air.
Yeah, they say
Usually
something.
Somebody's significantly ahead enough that Jeff is standing in front of them. This was a pretty close finish. But for Jeff to be like, well, you've got to call it. I mean, they don't say when they're explaining it, and then you build your own ladder, and then you climb to the top, and you do the slide puddle, and then you call it. I wonder if they're going to add that in later. Yeah, I did say slide puddle.
You did, then. Yeah, and I don't know. To me, I didn't think Wendell was done. Well, I thought he was done, but I didn't think he thought he was done.
He definitely looked like he was still studying it.
And so there was nothing in
He was looking down at his puzzle. He wasn't looking over at Jeff.
And he wasn't looking excited or happy, and it was like, whatever, Laurel did call it, like, it was just like a normal Jeff.
Did she say Jeff?
She said Jeff.
Okay.
And
helps.
So.
Yeah, I just feel like it cheapened Laurel's win because you could tell. I mean, Wendell, he did the best he could. Obviously, you're disappointed. You might have cost you the entire game. It might have just cost you $1 million that you didn't say Jeff.
Yeah.
But so he handled it okay. But I could tell Laurel felt really bad, and then that completely changed her mind. I mean,
I don't want to vote him out because on that I'm like, come on, you have to.
I want to get Wendell, but it doesn't feel right. So I'm going to go with the smart move rather than the big move this week. You don't have that much time left, girl.
You got 1 week left. So crazy. And then do we get to the tribal?
Yeah, Donathan came up to his threesome and said, if y'all going to blindside me, let me know. And that kind of freaked him out. Like, why would he even think he was going to be blindsided? Which everybody should think they're going to be blindsided every week. That wasn't that weird, but...
yeah, he just keeps pushing buttons and keeps pushing people and drawing this great big target on him. We get to the tribal council, and there is a little bit of tension. It does feel like they just got to vote for Jonathan because he's crazy.
Yeah, he shook things up too much.
Now.
There was a conversation between Angela, Dominic, Wendell, maybe even Laurel, where they're saying, like, hey, we just got to get Jonathan out. And it seemed like everybody agreed. Yeah. I don't know if that was the hammock.
Yeah, that was so strange.
We don't know what the hammock plan was.
And the plan of getting Kellen out, though, I do think she is much more threatening. You know, I wouldn't be overly worried about Kellen at challenges, but she's way more threatening than...
Socially.
Yeah. And she's won more than... What's his name?
Yeah.
Than Donathan. So it's up in the air. And so they're talking, and then Donathan goes and does it again. And I think even somebody's talking, and he's just, like, interrupts. And he's like, I know it's not Kellen. They're voting me out.
Yeah.
And everybody's just like...
That's where it feels like he's just asking for it. And I kind of understand that in a little way. Like, I don't want to have to wonder. I just want to know. Mm-hmm. Let's just get it over with. Just tell me it's me. Let me get out of here.
Yeah.
And, like, the stress is getting to him. At one point, Dominic says, Jonathan, can I say something? And he just goes, no.
Yeah, it was shocking.
And then there's whispering back there, and then Dominic says, just stay with the hammock plan. And Jonathan's like, I don't know what the hammock plan is. It's probably to get me out.
And Dominic's like, yeah, you don't know. Remember, we're not talking anymore.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Oh, now they're going to have to all go back to camp together.
So crazy. And Dominic he looked like he was annoyed and didn't know what, but he still felt like, all right, I'm still calling the shots here. I still know what's going on. All right, it's like kind of the coach that's like, we're going to run plan B.
Very
all right,
coachy.
we're doing this one now. Okay, change it up. All right,
he
run this play.
He never really seems ruffled.
No, he's very...
he was definitely watching everything.
You know who was ruffled? Kellen.
Yes.
She's just like got these big saucer eyes. And it's just like, what is going on? And
she had a little glimmer of hope there. Maybe something would turn in her direction. At one point, Wendell whispers loud enough that the closed captions picked it up, and he said, split, 3-2 split to Sebastian, which made me think that they're wondering, is Jonathan being this crazy because he has an immunity idol?
Yeah, is he trying to draw votes?
Yeah, is he trying to draw votes? So that's the only thing I could think of of why they would split it. Mm-hmm. And who are they talking about splitting it? That would be 5 people. I don't know who they're talking about. So it's very strange.
Yeah, well, is there 5? There's 7. Yeah, so it would have been 5 people. Huh. 3 on Kellen, 2 on Jonathan. Wendell, Dominic, Sebastian, Laurel.
I mean, Angela sort of was
Angela
there.
Angela was with him, so that would have been the 3 and 2.
Okay.
Angela's got to be like, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at this game, and nobody's even looking at
me. Oh, man.
So.
Yep, I agree. So they do the first round of votes, and it comes back with a tie.
Tied.
So we had 3 for Jonathan, 3 for...
Kellen.
No, 3... Yeah, and only one
for
Dominic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wendell or Jonathan.
Yeah.
Jonathan voted for Dominic. Woo, I wish their names weren't so similar. So that means they're going to re-vote, and this time you can only vote for the 2 names that were tied. So that's Jonathan and Kellen. And Jonathan and Kellen themselves cannot vote because obviously they would vote for each other.
Right.
So now we're down to only 5 people voting. So we know that it can't tie. And this time it's Kellen.
I was surprised
after
by
one
that.
vote, she starts crying.
Yeah.
So I don't know if somebody gave her a nod and said, hey, yeah, it's going to be you, or if she recognized handwriting. I think that could be a thing. Like, oh, that was obviously somebody's handwriting. I was counting on voting for Jonathan.
Yeah.
Jonathan even picked up his bag. He gets one vote for himself. He picks up his bag like he's literally ready to walk out before Jeff even finishes the votes. So weird.
Yeah, very strange. And Kellen's crying, and she leaves with much poise.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the most likable she's been. She's like, guys, this was just a really great experience. And that was great.
It was really good. So I thought a great episode. I'm shocked that nobody has made a big move yet.
Yeah.
Desiree tried.
There are so many idols and advantages that have not been played. I just want a list of all of them.
Yeah, it is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy, and so we'll see what happens. All right, Amber, let's wrap this up. Outwit, Outlast, Outplay. What do you got?
For Outwit, I have Dominic. Just thinking of smarts, I just feel like he's really aware of when something's going to happen. I think Wendell is too, as far as not using his idol, but I just kind of feel like Dominic's behind it. I don't know. Just the way his eyes dart around, he just seems like he knows what's going on, but he's very observant. At one point, he said he felt like Jonathan was getting ready to make a big move. He could smell it in the air. Like he just has a radar about these things.
Yeah, I agree. That was a tough one for me to figure out who to play tonight. But I agree. Dominic is a great choice. I think Outlast, I guess, Jonathan.
The thing is, if we're looking at somebody who should have been voted out that somehow didn't, he didn't do anything to deserve it.
Yeah. I mean, you could also you could give it to Angela for Outlasting.
Oh my gosh,
because she's
true.
just like shrinking into the background. She's like a non-existent person.
That's
Nobody's
true.
looking at her. There's enough other people causing waves, but I guess we'll give it to Jonathan as just kind of maybe this is part of his strat. No, it's not part of his strat. He tried to get. We're gonna give him Outlast, and he tried to get himself voted out. I don't know. It's just his play is so bad that he can't even get voted out when he wants to.
I don't know about Outplay.
Outplay, I think Dom and Wendell. Just the way they came through on that the reward challenge. A lot of times we give a lot of weight to the immunity challenges, but I think just winning challenges in general is good for your end game.
Yeah, definitely.
And they won that really, and we didn't even talk about that. Just I love it when they go to some village or something, and you see the kids, and they're just normal people having fun, and that was really cool. So I'm going to give it double Dom and Wendell tonight.
Okay.
So there we go. We have one episode.
Oh my goodness,
left.
the season finale.
So we'll have the season finale next week, and then I think the week after that will be the winner, right? Or is it all going to happen
The season finale is the end. I don't know how they're going to go from 6 people to a winner.
Yeah. So it's going to be a long one.
Yeah.
So they're going to do a full episode probably, because then you're going to... But are they going to do like a full episode, then a full episode of like who... in current time,
the live time,
live who wins, and then another hour or whatever of recap with the. Yeah, I don't know. It's a big mystery. We don't know, but we will find out, and we will walk through this uncharted territory with you all next week.
Absolutely, we are excited. So let us know who you think is going to win. What do you think is going to happen there? It's all very exciting. Did you notice that when Jeff was saying goodnight to everybody tonight, he just said, grab your torches, good night.
Yeah, what's up with that? Don't you want them to head back to camp? And they all left in different directions.
They didn't know where to go.
They're like, oh, what are we supposed to do?
Is it time for a challenge? Am I going to Ghost Island? I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, and Wendell just kept calling out, Jeff. Which was very odd, I thought. So,
just in case. Let me just keep saying it all the time just in case.
Oh, so, and yeah, I don't. If you want to get a hold of us, if you have opinions or thoughts on the show, you can get a hold of us on any of our social media platforms that we own and run, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at SegmentsCast, or you can send us an email at segmentscast@gmail.com.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts on our finale episode. Thanks for sticking with us.
Absolutely. And if you love the sound of our voices, we have another podcast. It's called Segments with Mark and Amber, and it's a comedy podcast where Amber and I talk about a variety of topics in different segments, and we have a lot of fun doing that. We recently did an episode about Friends, and now in the next couple days there will be a new episode about villains coming out. So you can find us anywhere that you get podcasts.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
I'm going to say, grab your torches and head back to camp where you belong.